I see so many people just be like, my boy Luffy, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, they get so into it. They get so hyped. I'm just like, bro, I don't care. I don't like Luffy. He's fine.
But Cole, he gets better after chapters 530.
He doesn't have a character, bro. He's just a guy.
Cole, the arc in chapter 735, that's when he peaks.
Anyway.
I promise, chapter 900, he bangs.
Got you. He bangs? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life is Daijoubu episode. Oh, there's a glare. Shoot. 87. My name is Cole, and I am joined by a man who wears the same shirt for the anime podcast every week because he loves anime, Mr. Thane Peterson.
Because I just have 7 shirts on top of my pile, and I just pull those same 7
I'm not
shirts.
really one to talk. I think I wore this last episode as well.
Yeah.
This is definitely a first timer on this show.
Isn't that a new shirt? Is that a new shirt?
New to me.
New to you.
Everything I wear is hand-me-downs.
Speaking of Mr. Hand-Me-Down himself, we got Skylar over there in the end. Welcome, everybody.
A freshly bald.
Oh, my goodness. Baldy Basic.
Egghead.
Baldy's Basics.
It's like that. For some reason, I instantly went to Plankton in my head. Sweet mother of pearl, he's naked. Or whatever, you know.
Well, you're in the same, like SpongeBob, the episode where the king takes off his crown.
Bald.
Yeah.
Bald.
Okay.
My eyes!
I figured, now it makes sense. There was a SpongeBob reason why I thought SpongeBob. Okay,
Yep.
cool. I get it. But yeah, we got a podcast for you today. Today, we will be talking about the TV show, animated TV show called Pantheon. The first, I think it's 8 episodes, is however season 1 was.
Season 1, yep.
8 episodes of season 1. Full-on spoilers of season 1. We won't be delving into season 2. And we know it's not anime, but Skylar likes being the freaking fly on the wall, picking off the genre.
Yeah, I got
off
another
the
one too
things.
that I'm gonna pick where it's not anime, but it is.
Because he likes to try to rage bait people, and I'm all here for it. I'll rage bait with. Honestly, I love rage baiting, so I'm kind of with you there too. We'll be talking about that roughly around the halfway point of the show. But before we do that, of course, we got to talk about some anime because this is still an anime podcast. So we got to talk about anime before we don't talk about anime. You know what I'm saying? Good jokes, right? Good jokes all around.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of this isn't anime talk eventually. I know we've talked about it. We basically beat that dead horse. Maybe we won't even bother talking about that point. But anyway, moving on. We got news. So let's go ahead and get into them. The first bit of news that I have, and granted, that these are all just going to be anime announcements. I don't have anything special this week. Nothing really jumped out as I was gathering the sources. First up, we have Inherit the Winds. Inherit the Winds.
Manga.
It sounds like a manga. It sounds like a soccer manga. Sports, maybe.
Honestly,
sports.
I like Thane's best. It's not right though.
Oh.
It's an original.
It's an original. Is
By
it
Aniplex.
Sports?
I don't know. I don't look into it.
Okay.
But I hope it's a soccer manga, or hope it's a soccer one, because Inherit the Wind. That sounds exactly.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Next up, Victoria of Many Faces.
Manga.
That's I think I think I've heard of that manga before.
Could be a
Maybe.
manga, but it was originally a light novel.
Oh.
So, 0 for 2, boys. 0 for 2. Next up, the world's strongest rear guard, Labyrinth Country's Novice Seeker.
Light novel.
My novel.
Oh, that was a gimme, bro. That's your freaking easiest one you could have ever had. All right, that's it. The next ones are like season 2s or spin-offs and such.
Mhm.
We'll do this first one, spin-off. Fist of the North Star, Elegy of Ken O's Army Grunts.
Thane's so hyped.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
For the Fist of the North Star spin-off.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's excited for the CG.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Next is possibly the greatest alchemist of all time, season 2. And the last one we have is an assassination classroom movie. Now, it says movie, but I imagine the term movie should be pretty loosely used, right?
What does this take place? Is it the whole thing?
Actually, I looked into it because I was curious about what it was going to be. It's going to include unadapted chapters or unadapted things, as well as a continuation of the story. So it'll be new content as well as newly adapted content.
Is that written? Is the new content written by the original author?
I believe so, yes. But who actually knows what any of that actually means?
Do people want more?
I don't think so.
They just
I never
want-
thought
they just
anybody
want more
wanted
money?
more. I guess people want more money.
I don't necessarily hate or love when companies do that because sometimes it's like, cool, I get more of what I like.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, oof, I got more of what I like, but bad.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't imagine this being bad, but the longer it's been since I've watched Assassination Classroom, the more I think, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun when I watched it, but I watched it pretty early on in my anime watchings. And so back then, I'm like, this is a 10 out of 10. This is incredible. This is awesome. And in hindsight, I'm just like, it's fine. It was a good show. Not a bad show. Worth my time.
Elusive Samurai. Oh, I haven't watched it. I haven't read Assassin's Classroom yet, but I'm going to take the bold take of saying Elusive Samurai's better.
Is that same
interesting.
author?
Yeah, same
Yeah.
author.
What's funny is, like, I bought that Assassination Classroom, like, box set manga years ago just because manga is hard to find, and for some reason I found that for a good price. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll buy it. I think I've read, like, a half of volume 1 ever, and I've never picked up it since, so maybe I read the full volume. I don't
Did you
actually
watch
know.
the anime?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen the whole show.
Yeah, I watched it after you and Drake had told me to watch it.
I thought you'd watched it first. I guess I'm wrong.
Me, I can't. I swear you told me to watch it. Well, I know Drake really liked it.
I feel like you told me to watch it. It's who freaking knows, dude.
Yeah.
Lost to history, bro.
I think I know we've talked about this before. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but we got into manga at the worst time.
Yeah, probably the worst time to ever get into manga.
I think our, at least my anyway, personally, my expectations are completely skewed of like what I thought manga was and wasn't worth. Because at the time, there was popular series that we just couldn't even get. They were just out of print.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. In my head, I was just like, well, anytime I see anything, I need to buy it.
Yep, I remember that. That's why I got the Assassination Classroom box set that I did.
But I don't think I ever overpaid for anything that I got, especially since we were buying a ton of stuff off of
Right Stuff.
Right
when
Stuff.
It was
Yeah,
when
Right
Right
Stuff,
Stuff
yeah.
still existed.
Well, so another thing that is funny is, right, like, you had the hardest time getting that Death Note box set. Probably one of the most popular manga of all time.
right.
How? How was that hard to come across? It's literally the most popular manga. Like, they were printing that sucker like crazy. They still do. That's why it's easy to find it now.
So I've never told this story, but I think this is just an example of when people that are collecting things, how you can stumble upon stuff as long as you decide to use the internet. But we used to go when we used to live in Utah, but we used to go to this place that was akin to what's the
Hastings.
Hastings.
That
It was
doesn't exist anymore, but you
yeah.
hopefully you understand.
Like they took several Hastings. The owners would be like,
Multimedia store.
Yeah,
Store for
multimedia
all
store,
different
yeah.
for all medias.
So we would go to this place often to get like video games, music, and mostly manga. We would go look at manga because they had this whole wall that just had tons of manga, new and used, mostly new. You can occasionally find used. But I found this series, and it was like $2 a volume, and I could get the whole series. It was called Rose Hip Rose and Rose Hip Zero. So I got all of them except for one obscure volume that I went to eBay to purchase. I bought this one obscure volume. It was like volume 3 or something. And in the mail, I got this card, which I still have, but it was a card for the mom and pop shop that was selling that volume on eBay. I went to their website and happened to find the Death Note box set for like $90 or something, $100. It was whatever MSRP was at the time.
yeah.
So I had gotten it, super stoked, showed up in the mail, like probably a month or two ago. Cole sends me an Amazon listing for it, the Death Note box set for like $60.
Yeah. A month or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. And like at the time, we are like, this is a holy grail. This is the rarest thing we own, manga-wise. Was freaking Death Note.
Yeah,
Like I said,
Death
one of the
Note.
most printed
Right.
manga of all time.
But another one, too, that was really hard for me to get was Maid Sama. And I eventually ended up collecting the entire thing.
And then you sold
And
it
then
like
I
a
sold
chump.
it because you could get it. Anybody and everybody could get it. But I remember when we first started collecting manga, I had slowly over like 6 months or a year had collected a good chunk of them, and I had 2 volume 1s for some reason. I can't remember why. So I was trying to sell volume 1, and on Mercari, everybody would message me and be like, what other volumes you got, bud? I know you got more. I'm like, I ain't selling them.
you got more.
I ain't selling. And now I sold the whole thing.
And then, like, I remember Horimiya was another one that was kind of, like, hard to find. I remember buying volumes 1 and 2 because I was like, I don't know if I care enough about this series, but, like, these are rare. We'll never see these again. You can buy the whole series just fine. Yeah. It's not even a hard thing to do.
That's why I was saying, like, I guess that hopefully now you understand when I say, like, our expectations were skewed.
Yeah, very skewed. Very, very skewed. And now we very rarely pick up volumes of manga at all.
My problem is I've bought so many volume 1s in hopes of like, I'll just try this out, and then I don't like it. And you can't sell volume 1s. It's very hard to sell volume 1s of The Witch and the Beast or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's way easier for me to get on an app and read a couple chapters of something.
See if you like it.
Yeah, see if I like it.
And I don't blame you. I really don't. Like, it makes sense. Yeah. I don't know where that tangent started from.
And then Thane's over here just with the whole Bibles. He's got all the Bibles.
Yeah, he gets like all like the special
big hardbacks,
hardcover ones. Yeah. Speaking of hardcover, I know that they're doing an Attack on Titan hardcover finally, and now I'm just like, well, dang it, bro. I always wanted a hardcover Attack on Titan, and now we're getting it. And I already have all these the omnibus all-in-ones or whatever they are. And so now I'm just like, well, shoot, if they look good, I might have to, like, drop those and get these instead as a replacement. What's funny is they also are doing Mushoku Tensei light novel hardcovers. But luckily, they don't look that good. So I don't really care that much about them.
Here's another thing, too, about manga collecting. This is kind of what's, like, turned me off on collecting stuff that's not finished anyway, is stuff like that. Like, there was a series called Parasite. That I bought. I really liked it, collected all of them, and then they came out with this hardcover version, which looks so much freaking better.
Well, it's in color too.
It's
literally in color,
and it's not that much more than the regular volumes, from what I remember. So
do you still have Parasite?
No, I ended up selling that. I did have a misprint of volume 3.
I remember that.
Fact. They put like chapter 61 next to like chapter 7 or something stupid. Anyway, stuff like that, like just it made me sad. Or, like, I would collect several volumes of something, and then a cool box set would come out of, like, the first 6 or 7 volumes of something. I'm like, dang, well, that's cooler. Like, the one, for example, and maybe they were already out at the time, and I just didn't do good research, but I collected all of the Legend of Zelda omnibuses, and then I found the box set. It was like a treasure box. It's freaking cool.
Those are... I don't think those existed when you started collecting, though. Yeah. I will say, if you are interested in collecting manga at all, my suggestion would be to just basically do like what Thane does and collect like these special edition hardcovers. Yeah. I think they are preem. They are like cream of the crop. They are awesome. They are very, very nice. Like these Full Metal ones. Like the page quality is really good. The print quality is really good. The pictures all look super, super good. Typically, they are the most up-to-date version like of the translation. They typically will be like the best translation you can possibly get of it. Like, I think that's the best way to do it. So if you do like a series a whole lot or want to get into it, then you go for that. Kodansha, they're the ones that did the Attack on Titan. They did publish Attack on Titan over here, so they did the 3-in-1s. Mm-hmm. And I think the 3-in-1s are pretty dang solid from Kodansha. There's a lot of omnibuses that are bad, in my opinion, because of like how tight they had to shove everything together. Kodansha does a good job where
they give you enough room.
There's
so
enough
not
room.
Words or pictures curved into.
They're not curved inside of there. It doesn't feel like they're gonna freaking bend the edges. Obviously, if you do it, it'll do it.
Right.
I collect the initial D omnibuses that Kodansha is doing right now as well. I think they're 2-in-1s. They're awesome. I think the quality of those are really, really clean. They look great on a shelf. Like, they're doing pretty solid.
I think when I inevitably get back into manga collecting, I'm going to just buy secondhand because it's cheaper and I can get most of the time. I've been able to find entire series.
Yeah.
On like eBay.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it at all.
No, but I think it's only going to be series that are finished and that I really like.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun rant. I guess briefly we can mention a little bit about the shows that we have been watching over the past couple during this past season. Next episode will be our season review, so look forward to that. But before we do that, we can just briefly talk about shows. You know, I do the same thing the last couple seasons. This next coming season, the fall season, I want to do better. I want to pick the shows that I'm going to watch, and I will actually want to watch them weekly because I've been doing such a bad job of watching these shows weekly.
Me too.
Like, I'll pick all these shows, and I watch a handful of them weekly, and then others I'm just like, I haven't even started. I, like, maybe watched 1 or 2 episodes, and that's it, and I haven't, like, kept up with it. I have such a better time with these seasons when I'm keeping up with these shows rather than trying to binge them all in one go. And, yeah. That said, I kept watching Gachikuta. How do you say it?
Gachiakuta.
Gachiakuta, thank you. I can't ever say that name for some reason. I have been watching more of that. I'm still not caught up on that. But I'm at the point where it's like they're starting to gather the classic, like, oh, here's your team 7 basically of the garbage world.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's very like pretty obvious they're trying to follow that shonen kind of trend, which makes a lot more sense to me why Viz and Crunchyroll is pushing this so hard, because they probably want this to be the next big shonen
and have a longevity,
It's
big long lifespan.
No, it's not. It's Viz. I have volume 1 and 2. They're Viz.
They are?
Yeah. I don't know if they're Shonen Jump branded, but I know they're Viz published.
It's Kodansha. Are you sure?
I'm like 98% positive. I think they literally have the Shonen Jump like the line. They're not obviously printed in Shonen Jump, Weekly Shonen Jump, but I think it's got the Shonen Jump logo on them.
How new or old is this series?
I think it's fairly new. I think it's probably started publishing the past 2 years. I got to prove Thane, Gachi, Iakuta. Bro, no. Manga. Bro, stop.
There. I got proof.
I got to
right
see
here.
the spines. Son of a gun, dude. It is.
I would know.
Thane's out here clapping cheeks.
That's crazy,
I
bro.
would know.
I just got my cheeks
You want to know
clapped.
why? It would have been on the Shonen Jump app.
Oh, yeah.
That's
it would've
true.
been,
This
yeah.
guy freaking reads
It's on
everything.
It's on the worst app. I just got done glazing Kodansha. I do want to mention their app blows still.
Yeah.
K-manga, baby.
I like their physical stuff, but like
Yeah.
they took that app straight from Japan, the coin system. I'm like,
Isn't that funny, though? That's just a great example of, like, different cultures and how we consume things.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Gachi Yakuta. It's fun. It doesn't compel me. It doesn't make me go, oh man, I can't wait to see what these guys get up to. And maybe it's just because like typical shonen is starting to like not be super. I'm not super into it anymore. Because I've been also trying to read One Piece a little bit more, and I finally finished Skypiea.
I don't know how
me a
hard
round
it
of
is to get
applause
through
for
that.
Finishing Skypiea.
The only One Piece content I've consumed is through the hundreds of hours of the video games I've watched our good buddy play, and I've seen episode 1 of the anime.
Yeah. But like
maybe you should read the manga. And
I
see.
will eventually.
I see so many people just be like, my boy Luffy, yeah. You know, they get so into it. They get so hyped. I'm just like, bro, I don't care. I don't like Luffy. He's fine.
But Cole, he gets better after chapters 530.
He doesn't have a character, bro. He's just a
But
guy.
Cole, the arc in chapter 735, that's when he peaks.
Anyway.
I promise, chapter 900, he bangs.
Gotcha. He bangs. Gotcha. Yakuta. It's definitely just your shonen story. It's fine. I don't think it's like super peak, but I'm still enjoying it, and that's my seasonal talk. Somebody else take the reins from me, so I don't keep going down this downhill trend of roasting One Piece. Then you want to take some reins? You seem interested in take some reins. I need to stop fidgeting with stuff. Put it away from me.
I don't know.
Oh goodness.
I mean, I've pretty much talked about all this show. I talked about Sakamoto Days. I've talked about Dan to Dan. I talked about Rent a Girlfriend last time, I'm pretty sure, where I said that I'm convinced that this entire story is far better in a bingeable format because lots of things happen as opposed to reading one chapter once a week.
I wanted to, so speaking of shows you've talked about, I wanted to watch Fragrant Flowers. One day I went to go look for it. It's on Crunchyroll.
Nope.
I got boned, bro.
You gotta... Jack
Sparrow?
Yeah, you got a Jack Sparrow.
You got a Jack Sparrow?
Yeah.
It could be on High Dive.
I think it's on
don't
High
freaking
Dive.
know.
I have no idea. High Dive blows right now, dude. It's such a bad... Like, for a time there, I did like High Dive, but like...
It got bought by AMC.
Is that what made it so bad? I swear it got worse.
If that's
Like,
probably what happened.
They lost a lot of their good shows. They really only had like one or two shows that were worth watching.
AMC bought it.
AMC ruined them.
Yeah.
Fragrant Flower, honestly, is probably my favorite show this season because everything else that I am currently watching, except for Sakamoto Days and To Be Hero X, which Cole and I've kind of put that on pause.
I
but
like
we'll binge
Bunny
it.
Girl. I've been watching Bunny Girl.
And
Or
I
Rascal.
guess Bunny Girl I haven't seen past where we're at, obviously, because I haven't read the light novels. But everything else, like Rent a Girlfriend, I know what happens. Dress Up Darling, I know what happens. Dan to Dan, I know what happens. Sakamoto Days is fun.
You never went and watched Silent Witch yet, have you?
No, I'm gonna binge it. So whenever we do our we're not watching a show this week. I'm gonna go binge it.
So this week?
Yeah, I guess this week.
I was very sad. That is one of the shows I am keeping up on, like, very diligently. This last week we had the recap episode because they had to take a week off. I imagine because production issues, if I had to guess. But
they dropped a new episode, I think, yesterday.
oh, thank goodness!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably go binge that
Watching
one.
it tonight then.
I think
I'm a few episodes behind To Be Hero X.
here's a little tangent we could go on for a minute before we go into the show. I think one thing I'm gonna start doing is I'm going to watch less weekly stuff and try to get through more of my backlog stuff to talk about. Like shows that people have been praising forever that I finally want to get into and watch. Stuff like GTO. I want to watch that. I've only seen episode 1. No idea what to expect from that. But like episode 1, you're like, wow, this is just a horny teacher. But I want to watch that. I want to finish Hunter x Hunter. I want to watch... Yu Yu Hakusho.
I want to watch Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah,
I'd watch that with
there's
you.
just like lots of stuff that I want to get through in the backlog because like this is the most anime I've picked in a long time. I think I'm watching 9 or 10 shows, which is fun. But there's a lot of shows I watch that are just not. They're like I'm not having fun with them. So I should drop them. But anyway, that's something I want to start doing is watch less weekly stuff and do more like bigger shows that people have been praising forever.
I gotta say, shout out to Simuldubs, by the way. I definitely like dubs so much more than subs. I don't want to have to read the show. If that's partly the reason why it's really easy for me to stay up on Dan, even though I know what's gonna happen. The fact that it's dubbed, it's so much more easier for me to throw it on because I'm like, heck yeah, bro! I don't have to read. I can just listen and watch.
And you get to hear Dragon Force.
And you get to hear Dragon Force. Well, at least the singer for the guy.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm the same. I've always said that too, though. Like even a bad dub, I'll watch a bad dub because it's whatever.
I think it has to be like there's probably a line where I will switch to the sub. But yeah, I agree. I'd watch a bad dub first too.
And I feel like more like modern dubs really like aren't even that bad. Like you've got like a pool of voice actors that are even if you have like the B tier voice actors that are doing
you'll
them.
hear all these same voice actors in every single show. That's kind of part of the fun sometimes where you get to start picking them out. Like, oh, I know this person.
Yeah.
That's this character.
Yeah, exactly. That's this character. So I don't know. Whatever. We're not true anime fans.
We're not
apparently.
true anime fans.
I was watching Silent Witch dubbed, and then they had an episode where it's like, oh, this dub's not available yet. And
you were watching it dubbed?
Yeah, and I grew
it was dubbed.
I was so impatient. I was like, I'm switching to sub. Also, I like the cute voices better.
Yo, yeah, I watched it subbed as well.
Yeah.
The main girl does a really effing good job.
Does she?
That's almost one that, like, if I knew the side by side, I don't know what the English one is like, but the freaking Japanese voice actress doing that girl is spectacular, so freaking good. Does all her stupid anime girl noises just perfectly. I know it sounds dumb, but like it does help the show a lot in a weird way. So if the dub isn't as good, then that would be one to watch.
Well, one of the
opinion.
examples I could give, not that I know the English version because I watched this as it was releasing, but season 2 of Made in Abyss, freaking phenomenal. One of the voice actors, the actresses that plays one of the characters, does such a freaking banger job.
Yeah.
Like you can feel the emotion in her voice. It is insane. Anyway, I was gonna say one more. Oh, another thing that I think I'm going to start doing too on the show is I might start picking shows that are 24 episodes long and just bust it up into 2 parts because there's a lot of really good shows that I want to watch. And maybe we'll like the show enough to where you guys are like, let's pick the second
roll it
part.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
It would always be me then, because I'm always the one
Probably.
after you.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be, obviously, but there's like when I go through and look at shows I want to pick, obviously I'm trying to just pick ones that are 12 or 13 episodes long.
What was that show that we were thinking about picking back to back like that already?
Was Steins Gate.
It wasn't Steins Gate.
I thought it was
So many
Steins Gate.
times.
I didn't think it
Was it
was.
something else?
Something else. I don't know.
I can't
I
remember.
can't even think of it. Anyway, speaking of not being real weebs, we've got to talk about Pantheon. Because Pantheon, yeah, I beat the dead horse. Kit, got it. Well, Sky, you picked Pantheon. Tell us about Pantheon. Oh, full spoilers for Pantheon Season 1. Go for it.
Pantheon is a show that explores the idea of uploaded intelligence. So basically, if somebody dies, you can take their brain, scan it, and upload it into a database. Basically, it becomes data.
Or they're not dead and you just cut their...
Well, I think that's
Wait,
the
what?
whole thing of it is the person can't be dead
Yeah,
in
they
order
can't
for
be
them to
dead.
scan the brain.
Yeah.
But they die as a result of their
result.
brain
Yeah.
getting scanned. So usually in the show they pick people for testing anyway that are dying, like terminally ill or something like that, or people that volunteer, which I want to talk about that because I don't really know how that lady's plot point was relevant, and maybe I just went over my head. But anyway, the show follows this. It's this young girl who her dad dies, and the mom and the daughter live together. And at one day, the girl's chilling on her computer, and she gets a text box from a unanimous person that only talks in emojis. Well, it turns out it was her dad. Her dad used to work for this really big company.
Apple.
Yeah, Apple.
Yeah.
It was literally Apple.
Yeah.
They scanned the dad's brain because he was going to die anyway. He had signed up for some program, and the wife didn't know about it. She was told that when he went to get his brain scanned, it failed. There was nothing left of him except for like some hard drive thing. She was given that. She broke it because she was mad. Anyway, turns out the dad didn't die, and there's a whole bunch of like ethical things behind all of this. So there's the huge plot point of uploaded intelligence, but then there's also another plot point of Steve Jobs being cloned, and that's another one I want to get into.
Because Steve Jobs was dying,
Yeah.
terminally ill, so they wanted to make a new one.
Exactly, but instead of uploading his intelligence, they literally cloned him from his own DNA, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they tried to simulate how Steve Jobs was raised.
It's not real Steve Jobs, by the way. If you're
Right,
just
well,
watching it.
I was-
It's just a
it's-
guy
I
who
was making-
looks
I don't
like
remember
Steve
his
Jobs.
name.
I was
I think it was Steve.
Holstrom or something.
Is Holstrom,
Yeah.
but Stephen
Steve-
Holstrom.
It's
Steven
like,
Holstrom.
so you know the movie Inside Out, and you got all those little core memory
Yeah.
orbs?
Uh-huh.
They like figured out which Steve Jobs' core memory orbs, and they tried to like act them out in real life, but
Yeah.
this kid didn't realize it was an act.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially you've got a kid that his life is he is the Truman Show, except he's not. I don't know. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about with that too is like they're trying to raise him in this controlled environment, but the only thing that's really controlled was his mom and dad because he still goes to school and
Well.
like has experiences outside of his home life, but.
Well, the girlfriend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who's
Aside
to say other people in the school were also in on it, though? I'm assuming there were. I'm assuming there's no possible way they don't have people in the school in on it to make sure nothing weird happens.
There very well could have been,
We
but
just didn't see it.
they should have showed it, in my opinion.
They probably should have.
Well, there's a season 2, so maybe I don't know.
Right. Well, anyway, so that is Pantheon. There's a lot. Like, this is an 8-episode series, but they're 40 minutes long, so basically 2 episodes of anime in each one. But man, I really, really liked this show. There were parts that I thought were a little bit silly, but overall, I like the idea of where they went with this, like exploring all of these different technology things, but also a lot of different moral conundrums that they went over. Like, there was a lot packed into these 8 episodes.
I want to talk about one thing.
Go ahead.
That I didn't like about the show, and the fact that there's no subtitles. The fact that it's an English production, so instead of just hiring voice actors, what do? You hire a bunch of celebrities who've never voice acted before. They could be good actors, but they're clearly not voice actors. Like, I think the mom, I think she, gave a very wooden performance in voice acting. It's like, oh my gosh, my husband is a robot, and it's like, can we get a real voice actor in here, please? I'm sorry. I don't know how your acting is, lady.
It's interesting that bothered you, because honestly, looking back, I don't know if I paid enough attention.
I think it's just the mom that was the worst one. She clearly.
In hindsight, I agree. She wasn't great, but I wasn't thinking about it at the moment.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, but it's I could tell that's they just hired, I could just tell, and I've probably seen this, they just hired a bunch of regular actors and said, just record the lines in the booth, and they don't know how to, voice act, because voice actors clearly have different acting to make characters feel more animated.
See, this is the difference between a real anime fan and me.
The freaking fake movies over here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the same with movies. Sometimes there's animated movies that are they hired people who know how to voice act.
Well,
and
it's
then
the Ghibli movies, they always hire the famous people to act.
Yeah, and you could tell, compared to if it was just a normal dub.
I'm gonna blame the
Disney.
Directors for that.
Yeah,
the voice directors.
Yeah,
I think that they could do. I think that if you take a professional actor or actress, whoever's directing their voice lines while they're doing the takes, I feel could direct them good enough to where those actors are delivering exactly the way they want it.
I think it's just the voice direction. They just needed a real, actual voice director. But they just had a sense just read your lines.
Wasn't this during COVID as well?
Yeah, I think it was. So
could have been people in their closets trying to freaking actually play their roles just in their closets.
Yeah.
It's funny, the kid Caspian, his voice, he's supposed to be a 16-year-old, and they got a 40-year-old guy, nearly 40-year-old guy to do it. Paul Dano, who played the Riddler in the Batman movie.
Nice.
Of course, he sounds convincing enough, but you look up, it's man, this dude's almost 40. But
overall,
got a lot of.
Did you guys like the show?
I thought it was great.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I think Thane might have ended up liking it more because of how quickly he went through it.
Yeah.
I think you beat all 3 of us, or all 2 of us.
I just pulled it up, just watched it before I went to work, and then that's pretty much I'll just watch this real quick.
I see.
I think the beginning and the middle and 3/4 in was far better for me. I think towards the end I kind of fell off.
I don't think the ending was that great. My biggest complaint with the ending wasn't that it was a quote-unquote bad ending. It was a quote-unquote, hey, keep your subscription up because we're putting out a season 2 pretty soon.
That's funny because they didn't even put the season. The funny story thing is that it's AMC and High Dive. This is when AMC bought High Dive. And it's hey, we have this show on both AMC Plus and High Dive. And then they said, hey, we got season 2 coming up. And then said, actually, psych, we removed the show and we're not releasing season 2, even though it's all finished.
They did release season 2.
Yeah,
it's
on
out
Netflix.
now, but the show got canceled.
Yeah, the show got canceled. And I think Canada had a streaming service, Canada, so Canadians or Europeans, whatever, could see it. But it didn't take until Netflix got the show that season 2 was available everywhere.
That is weird. I didn't realize it was like that because it literally just screamed to me Yeah, we're just gonna leave on the most unsatisfying ending so
Yeah.
that you'll end up watching our season 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna not watch it out of spite to show them a thing or 3. I don't know if I'm showing them anything because it got canceled. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think the first 3 quarters was pretty solid. And then things started like coming together, and I liked that. I liked how like we get to see Steven and Maddie come together, and like, oh wow, they've had a little interaction throughout the whole show, but now they're actually like have to quote unquote team up, and then they don't team up, and it's like, oh, okay, and then they go, oh, then I want the dad to be the AI god. And I'm like, cool, he's dead. Oh, we got the backups. Of course, I knew that. Like, obviously, Apple's not going to delete the backups.
Right.
And they end with, all right, let's do it. Like, what? Do what?
Season
what are we
2.
doing? A season 2.
Season
That's
2.
what we're doing. And it's just like, gosh, bro. It's like, it's unfortunate because what it tells me is that, like, you have somebody who created something that they like, they're passionate about, but because of the corporations and money and all that jazz, they have to be able to sell a second season. It's not they want to make a good show. It's not that they want to make a good show. It's not that they're allowed. They're not allowed to make a good show. That's what it is. They're not allowed to make a good show because they have to leave it open for a season 2. That's the sucky part about it.
What I've learned is that a lot of these streaming seasons, like if they put enough stake or money to it, it's like, hey, we already got season 2 already in in the pipeline ordered. We already got a season 2 ordered. So no matter how bad the season 1 does, we're already doing season 2. Apparently, I think the High Dive AMC thing had like a disastrous leadership debacle, so that's why the whole season 2 just got scrapped. Like,
Even though it was done.
yeah, even though it was done.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Do you guys want to start with like Caspian's storyline and talk about like the moral implications of his life?
Yeah, I'd love to. I wanna point out to you guys because you guys didn't hear. I called it after episode 1, the entire story of that character. I was like, because I was watching this with Luke, and I was just like, oh shoot, I get it. Okay, he's a clone. They're trying to like do the thing where they raise him exactly like the original one, so they could try to make him like that. And Luke's just like, I'm just like, I freaking knew, dude, instantly what it was. And then they reveal in season 2 basically that like, or not season 2, episode 2, that they don't reveal he's a clone. They make it obvious though they're trying to nurture him in a specific way to be like this person. I'm like, of course he's a clone then. Why else would they do it with this random kid?
Right.
Because he's a clone. Anyway, story, yes. Let's talk about a story.
So one of the aspects that I focused on, which is just, I guess, a me thing. Maybe you guys did as well, but when we go through and we see how the parents are like, you know, the dad's acting like an asshole, and then the mom is like the friendly one. Like the first thing I thought of was like, well, they may be acting, but they've also raised this kid since he was a baby. How would they not get attached to this person? And I think we saw a little bit of it with the dad.
Oh yeah, the dad absolutely was attached.
But like the mom, I think that maybe she was just able to do it, but she literally just powered through, and like she only ever saw that as her job.
No, I don't think it's even that. I think it goes further than that. I think she only ever saw it as, I need to make the next Steven. I need this to be Steven because I worship this Steve Jobs character, Steven Hellstrom. Holstrom. I worship Steven Holstrom. I need to make a new one because the previous one passed on. This is still him. We need to make sure he becomes what I worship. I think that's all she ever saw as. And obviously, like, the dad says something similar near the end. Like, yeah, I was a freaking part of the cult. Of course I basically was. I was worshiping this dude. But he still got detached from it, obviously, which is why the story went the way it did.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, because thinking about it, too, though, is like, yeah, like how many people are involved in Caspian's life that knew about it but ended up getting attached to him? Kind of like the whole Truman thing, where some of these people that see Truman try to get into his TV show and break him free
Yeah.
from it, essentially, right? Tell him that he's in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really see it, honestly, with Caspian, because I feel like, and maybe you're right, though, maybe more people know about it than don't know that are around
I
him.
would be baffled if they put as much effort as they did to make their parents in on it as much as they were in on it and not have anything else around the world protecting it too.
See,
that seems like way too much. They literally cloned a human being, and you're telling me that and you're thinking that they wouldn't have everything like secure. I guarantee you it was just one of those unspoken things.
Right.
Think.
Well,
they had to have
and
done
I'm trying to think too, was there ever any instances when he's at school where we saw something like that?
No, we don't. The only closest thing is the girlfriend. But the fact that we see that girlfriend early on, it tells me that that he also had to have other people in his life at school that were also in on it. Whether they be kids or teachers. Most likely teachers,
Right.
faculty, because it's hard to get a 5-year-old to be the actor in class that's pretending
Right.
to be the friend or whatever it
Well,
is.
in Caspian's life seems pretty boring. Like, what did he do? I don't think he had any extracurricular activities or friends, or he had.
It's probably why it was fairly easy.
Yeah. Well, and
Probably
that
don't have to worry about the friends aspect.
and that's probably why your theory of it like being more controlled is probably correct, because there was nothing, or at least we didn't see it. There was no outside forces doing anything else.
And like Inside Out, the only thing they really needed to make sure happened was those core memories. They needed to make sure those core memories were the same. They didn't they essentially had to protect him from making other core memories outside of the ones that they wanted him to have.
And what's interesting too, though, is like after Caspian finds out that everybody was lying to him, essentially, he hates everybody, doesn't trust anyone, and he also is just like, yeah, this whole thing that apparently he decided to do, he just wants to shut it all down, and everyone is so, like you already said, so culty for this dude that they're like, whatever you say, boss.
Yep, you
we're
got
gonna
it, dude.
crash and burn with you if that's what it is.
Yep. I do love the plot of it being nature versus nurture. I think that's so fascinating. It's always fascinated me. I think the hard part about this one is the fact that it's written. Unfortunately, I'd like to see this actual experiment occur in real life sometime. I don't think it's ever going to happen because ethics and such, morality and all that jazz, which is why it shouldn't happen. I don't think it should happen, but I'd love to see if it did. I would love to see the results. Because you could just write it, sure, and it'll be whatever results you want it to be.
Imagine the YouTube video. We controlled how a child lives for 5.
It's literally a Mr. Beast video in 5
Yeah.
years, guaranteed.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, though? Like, do you think that people are more shaped by their surroundings?
I think surroundings.
Yeah.
I think you take the same baby, put him in one household, put him in the household down the road, completely different people.
I think so too. I think so too. Until I guess I'm shown otherwise. But I just feel like if you're having two different experiences with several different people doing different things, that your life is going to be different, and your personality will be far different than whatever that other person's was. Because like the older I've gotten, I've been able to like analyze myself and watch my parents and be like, wow, I am my parents' kid.
Yep. And if the nature side of it is partly real, right? I don't imagine it's enough for the nurture side to not take such a huge precedence over it. Like specific scenarios and situations you've gone through your life, literally I keep going back to Inside Out because it's just an easy example, but those core memories that you have in your life, they really do shape you regardless. And even if you are just naturally a good human being, some big thing can make you a bad person.
Yeah. I think what's interesting too about Caspian, his situation specifically, and probably anybody that's in that situation, is how would they ever know who they truly are? Because they were just an experiment. They were grown. They were groomed to be whatever they are. And so I can't remember if Caspian says it or not, but I feel like he says, I don't even know who I am or something like that.
He says at our age, we're told that teenagers at our age aren't supposed to even know who they know like what they want to do or who they are going to be. I don't even know what I am, he says. Not who I am, what I am.
It's a very powerful line.
Which is crazy because it's like the context of it doesn't seem that powerful, but like, or excuse me, not the context. Just the words alone don't seem that powerful. It's the context of it all combined. That's what makes it powerful.
I pitted my children against me to have them inherit my fortune. And it's the Mr. Beast video and pointing to his kids.
That's right. He's got the little baby beasts. Yeah. That's what they call them, right? The baby beasts.
Yeah, I really like that plot point. As far as the uploaded intelligence goes, though, I really liked how they showed several different angles of how people view that. The interesting one was the mom, I feel like, because she's very against it at first, but then she spends an entire night just chatting with her dead husband in VR.
Yeah.
And when I was watching that at that point, I was just like, holy freaking crap. Like, if something were like this were to happen, you can't tell the freaking difference. So she's literally chatting with him as if he's right there. They're talking about memories, just having a good time.
The one that the correlation I immediately drew was Steins Gate Zero, right?
Yeah, with the
Okabe going
phone.
through his life, and he's got freaking Kurisu in his phone with an uploaded memory of her prior to her going to Japan, and he just hits it off with her. They have this great freaking relationship, and like Maho jumps in. She's fake. You are being played by a robot. You fall in love with a robot.
Yeah, love me instead.
Yeah, I know. Right?
And then he's like, I picked the wrong timeline.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but like, it's interesting, especially coming from you as the I hate robot guy. What do you think? How would you respond in these situations?
I think it would F me up.
Yeah.
I would be so messed up in the head. I think I would be more like Maddie, where I'm like, this is so effing cool. Like, I got tears in my eyes because I'm trying, like, I'm literally hanging out with somebody that's dead, but they know me. They know everything about me. It's like nothing even changed. They are here now. They have all their memories. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would just F me up in the head. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Or I would want to believe the ruse because of how it makes me feel, essentially.
That's a good way to put it.
And I think that if I had the option, I would probably have to be more like the wife and just say, nope, I have to detach. I can't do this. Because you are just tricking yourself is what it is.
I agree.
But I think the tough thing, too, though, and this is something that's made me really think about, like, robots and AI and all this different stuff, is, like, we're talking about intelligence, you know what I mean? Whether it's artificial or biological, is there a difference as far as the intelligence goes? As far as the knowledge of whatever that entity is there a difference between the artificial and the biological?
Ain't that the $1 million question?
Right. And so, especially a show like this where I tried to put myself in Maddie's shoes, I'm like, dude, this would... No wonder she's freaking messed up and in a panic towards the end where she's like, you want to kill my dad? No, F you. We're not doing that.
Yeah, dude. I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
So, when it comes down to the show, putting them versus each other, we have the story, the plot, versus just the ideas that it presents. I think the ideas that it presents is so much more interesting than the actual story, because I honestly don't give a crap about any of the characters in this show.
Yeah, I agree.
Literally zero. Like, Maddie's chill, but like at the same time I can't relate with her because I don't think I would respond the way she did. I'm pretty positive I wouldn't. I think I would respond more like the mom. So I guess I could relate to her, and maybe the reason I don't like her is because they mentioned the voice acting wasn't very great directed, and so maybe that was part of it. But like overall, I don't give a crap about the characters. I really don't care that much about the story. I can sympathize with everything pretty much, but I can't relate and I can't empathize, and so I'm left to just look at the ideas that it presents, and that's, I think, why the majority of the show that we've talked about has just been the ideas.
Yeah.
It's the fascinating ideas and concept that this brings up.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if these ideas were presented with more likable characters, maybe a little more relatable. That's the other problem, too, is we're talking about, like, sci-fi stuff. We have no connection to it. Like, there's no relatability other than just
what we see.
Yeah, playing with the idea of it in our brains. But I agree, like, Caspian sucks. He's just there, you know what I mean? It's more like learning about him. And I was even thinking, like, comparing it to the Truman Show, because we had recently watched that too. Like, is Truman a good character? It's literally just a man combusting, you know what I mean? Does that make him a good character? And same with Caspian. Like, I think that obviously he's, like, super smart and stuff, but as a character, what does he do aside from Wow, my life is a lie.
Kind of have to have shells. It's like the protagonist you get to play as in a video game. It's this shell that you get to inhabit and control. But it's not a video game, so you just have to watch this shell go throughout their life.
And maybe that was the intention of the writing was I'm going to make lots of different characters that you as an audience member have to just put yourself in their shoes and see how you would respond to the same situations that they're in.
What I really think happened was that we got a really cool sci-fi writer who doesn't know how to actually write story-driven characters and plot, but he's really good at sci-fi. And then he wrote the whole show himself. That's what I think happened.
I can see that
too. These are based off short stories by an author.
So it very well could be something similar to that.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense too, though. Like a short story, it's kind of hard to write characters that you fall in love with, but it's easy to come up with a plot point and ask a lot of questions.
The plot points are great. The questions were great.
Right? Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
So the final thing I want to bring up is how stupid this thing is, right? Like, you have at the end, like, how do you visualize the conflict? I know, we have them battle like a fantasy sword fight battle, even though they're freaking computers. Like, what the heck?
See,
that seems so dumb. I really disliked it. I'm like, this is just stupid. You just wanted a fight sequence to visualize the conflict, but also to keep viewers entertained by giving a big fight scene at the end.
But it's just ones and zeros.
It's they're literally just like computers just battling coding and stuff. That's it. I don't know.
But it's like I don't know. I thought that part was silly too. The other plot point, maybe this pops up in season 2, is like that other lady that was just leaving her family because she was going to go to Mars, and then she decided to upload her intelligence. What did she do? That's got to be season 2, right?
Maybe
I think it was to show that, like, because at one point she said, "Wait, I thought you said I was the only one." So it's like, oh, this has been going on longer. There's several people that have been scanned, and it's like, oh, don't worry, you're the only one.
I think it really is to show, like, it's not even just these 3 main people that we've been following. There's been so many people scanned. They've been messing around with this for a long time.
Well, and I think it was Bald Guy at the end. He talks about that, or maybe it was a narrator. I can't remember. I just know that there was at some point talking about how every country is going to have their UI. Yeah. And if they say they don't, they're lying. They've got it stowed away somewhere doing their business, doing their bidding. I mean, like that one dude, the Indian guy that became the villain, he was a villain. It depends on how you look at it, but he was just a stock guy, right? They just got him. They're just like, yeah, trade stocks, make us money. That was his job.
No. That was the girl.
It was the girl.
Oh, was it the girl?
That was the girl's job. She was very, very clever. She was good at stocks.
So she was the stock trader.
And so I don't know. I don't remember. She died in the car crash, right? Yeah. And so they're like, well, crap. We need her to keep making us money. Let's freaking grab her freaking brain and make us money.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Chanda worked for that. His name was Chanda. I remember.
Chanda. Yeah.
He worked for that company, and it's like we're gonna scan your brain while you're still healthy,
and you'll just
young.
Be working for us for the rest of your existence.
And it's weird too that they like tried to keep him in this bubble. They tried to Truman show him.
All of them, all 3 of them.
Yeah,
the 3 main characters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Truman bubble.
They broke out.
Yeah. Well, each one of them like kind of broke out in their own way.
That's true, because with David they took some restraint off of him, and that's how he was able to get through.
Yep.
I can't remember Lori. I don't remember
how she broke out either. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's fine. Once again, it's just a fine show. It really is just these cool ideas that are fun to talk about, and that's about as far as I ever went with it.
What was the other anime show we watched? Was it one of those? The guy that did Perfect Blue.
Link. Oh, Satoshi Kon?
Yeah. Did we watch a show from him where we were like, yeah, the ideas
Paranoia
are a lot...
Agent.
Was it that? Where the ideas were a lot cooler than the characters?
I think so. Yeah. I think it was Paranoia Agent. I guess one other final thing I thought was dumb was when he was controlling that cell phone with the vibrations from the corners of the vibrator. I'm like, no, you're not giving me that crap. It's not using the airwaves to push down the keys. That's not doing jack. There's no
when I saw that, I was like, how? No way.
I thought it was
no.
dumb.
That's you can't. It's not possible. Like, yeah, you could move it.
You could move it, and I do think you can control it. Like we've seen that with Nintendo Labo, right? You put those Joy-Cons on, and they you can move like an RC car. You're not doing that. You could do it. Let's say you could do it with a phone. You're not controlling the keyboard
No.
with a phone.
No.
Like it was what the airwaves of the volume or something was putting out airwaves. That's not. There's no possible way in any world as a phone puts down a pressure to do it.
And I think the issue with that is we have a bunch of sci-fi things, but it was still set and very well set in just regular world.
and things that we know.
Right.
Yep.
Also, a question I wonder is like, can you actually drain a battery remotely? I don't think you can because it has like actual like current or what.
That's
charging.
at least that's more believable.
Yeah, that's more believable. But it's like it's not
I don't
possible.
think you could.
No, because
other
it's
than
like something
maybe
physical
in their
there.
background, you just make them run a bajillion processes all at once, and so
yeah,
you're running
yeah.
the CPU at like 100%.
Yeah, but they
the
made it
entire
so
time.
easy. It's like, watch, I'll drain his battery. It's like, okay.
It was just a plot point.
Yeah, just a plot point.
Just to get the phone put down.
Yeah.
Or the walkie to
But
whatever it was.
I think if you try to run a million things, that would explode the phone first. Before.
I think it would overheat. Yeah, it would overheat before it does anything
Yeah.
else. Yeah, I mean that's the show. I'm disappointed with the ending. I wish they would have actually had a more solidifying ending because I'm not gonna watch season 2.
Yeah, I'm
Are
not
you guys
either.
watching season 2?
Probably not.
Yeah. So there you have it. We're not watching season 2. You didn't get us hooked enough, Pantheon. Fun, like I said, fun ideas, fun show. Characters, nah, not great, just fine. I think it could have been a little bit shorter. If like we're talking like nitpicky stuff, right? It could have been probably a little bit shorter. You could probably cut it down a whole episode because there was enough just like back and forth of nothing happening and throughout the entire show to probably cut out. If we, like I said, if we want to get nitpicky with it. But yeah, I got no more thoughts on it. I think
that's pretty much. Oh, I did like a lot of the different songs they threw in there. They did like covers of songs.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
I thought the animation was fine. It just reminds me of like an American animated TV show.
Yeah, I watched My Friend Superman or My Adventures with Superman, whatever the freak it was. I watched season 1 of that a little while ago. Almost exactly the same animation style.
Yeah, this reminds me of just like the classic comic book animations.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of like Teen Titans or something like that.
Yeah. I would probably give this show like a 7.5.
Yeah, I'd bump it up a little bit from the 7 just because the concepts and
Right.
ideas were interesting enough to keep us thinking.
Right. Yeah.
My biggest issue is I put so much weight into cool
Characters.
characters and story, so that's where I'm kind of lost. But I do enjoy a good sci-fi, so that's also why I was okay with it.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's like the best shows out there are ones with relatable characters and, well, I mean, that relatability. There's nothing really relatable other than just food for thought.
Yeah, go watch Steins Gate Zero. What else to say? Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we will not to be picking an episode of or a show of anime to watch for the next 2 weeks because in 2 weeks or 1 week, haven't decided yet. We'll have to figure that out. The next episode will be the end of season episode. I think it will be 2 weeks, but then we'll do back to back. So we'll do the end of season 1 week, then the next week will be the start, the nutshell, and then 2 weeks after that will be the next show, which is the book club again. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Enjoy the rest of your summer season of anime. Hope you guys enjoyed Pantheon and have a good one. Have a good life. That's the slogan. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye.